You ever see something so absurd, so backward, you almost laugh before you realize you're the punchline? That's how it started for me at the airport that morning, standing there in my best coat, holding a boarding pass that said confirmed seat, while a gate agent stared right through me like I was just some lost old man instead of Colonel James Harrion, U.S. Air Force, Medal of Honor recipient, 88 and counting. Sorry, sir, the flight's overbooked. Our systems put you on standby. Flat as a pancake, eyes already moving on to the next passenger in line. And I'm standing there, ticket in my hand, me granddaughter's graduation from the Air Force Academy that afternoon, the only thing on my mind, my family waiting in Colorado, and this slip of paper might as well have said good luck. Let me back up a sec. My name's Jim Harrion, but nobody calls me that except the IRS. Most folks just call me Colonel, or Jim if you catch me in the garden back home. I spent most of my life up in the clouds, real clouds, not the data kind. I flew reconnaissance over enemy lines, patched bullet holes with duct tape, and once landed a bird on 2 working engines and a prayer just to keep my crew alive. Got a shiny medal for it. I never wear it, never talk about it much. It sits in a little box in my study, next to my late wife's picture, and most days it just collects dust. What matters more to me these days? Watching tomatoes grow, teaching kids in Civil Air Patrol, looking out for the next generation. Like a Millimy eldest granddaughter. Smart, tough, and today, graduating the Air Force Academy, same as I did all those years ago. That's the kind of thing you don't miss for the world. So, 6 months ago, my kids and I pooled our pennies, booked me a direct ticket to Colorado Springs. Alliance Air, seat 12A by the window. Nothing fancy, just enough to get an old man across a few states. I showed up at the airport hours early, like always. You know how it is when you're old planes and people don't wait for you. The place was chaos, but I've seen worse. I made it through check-in, past security, even managed not to lose my hat. Then I got to gate B7. The crowd was thick. Flight 305 was popular today. The gate agent, Susan, looked like she hadn't slept in a week. Her partner, Ben, looked fresh out of college and about as ready for a crisis as a duck in a desert. They start boarding priority for military. They say so. I step up, hand Susan my pass, my old Dodie ID, even my retiree card, just for good measure. She looks at her computer, frowns, taps a few keys. Colonel Harrion, we've had an equipment swap. Smaller plane, fewer seats. You're one of them. She handed me a slip of paper. Stand by. I bought this ticket half a year ago. My whole family's waiting. Sorry, sir. The system prioritizes check-in time and fare class. She doesn't look up. No sympathy, just the script. Ben, meanwhile, looks like he wants to say something, but Susan's running the show. Isn't there a manager? I ask. I'm the lead agent, she says, like that's the end of it. You could try for tomorrow morning's flight. Tomorrow might, as will be next year. I need to be in Colorado this afternoon. She waves in the next passenger, and that's that. You know, I've flown combat missions with more of a fighting chance than I had at that gate. I took my little standby slip and sat down by the window, watching as the passengers filed onto what was supposed to be my flight. I'm not ashamed to say it hurt. Years of service, a medal in a box, and still just another number to some algorithm. But then I remembered something years back. After a different travel fiasco, a Pentagon official had slipped me a card. For emergencies only, Colonel. Department of Defense Protocol Office. I never used it, never even thought about it. But missing Emily's graduation because a computer said so, that was the hill I die on, you know what I mean? So, hands shaking, I dialed the number. A voice picked up first. Ring protocol liaison, duty officer Kent. I explained my situation, gave him the details. He asked for my name, flight number, where I was. Don't leave the gate, Colonel. We'll resolve this within 10 minutes. I hung up, still half doubting. Flag officer level, FA, all that sounded like movie stuff. Meanwhile, the last passengers boarded. The jet bridge started to retract. I was out of time. And then now on the tarmac, 3 black SUVs pull up, government plates, lights flashing. Not sirens, just these cold blue strobes. They stop right in front of the plane, blocking it in. Baggage carts scatter, airport security shows up, everyone's craning their necks. Inside, Susan and Ben are staring, the whole waiting area buzzing. Over the loudspeaker, Alliance Air Gate B7, please hold your aircraft. Federal authorities on site. Two men in suits with earpieces stride in, all business, scan the crowd, and head straight for me. Colonel Harrion? Special Agent Davies, Department of Defense Protocol. Please come with us. Before I can even stand up, another man bursts on a mess of nerves, tie askew, sweat on his brow. Turns out, this is Mr. Alistair Finch, president and majority shareholder of Alliance Air himself. He's flanked by his staff, all of them looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Mr. Finch doesn't waste time. Colonel, I've just been made aware by a very high-up friend at the Pentagon of the disgraceful way you've been treated. There are no excuses. Flight 305 will be held for you. You'll fly first class. If we have to bump one of my own executives, so be it. He whirls on Susan and Ben. Miss Agent, your understanding of federal law and common respect is appalling. You and your supervisor will be meeting with my VP and our legal counsel after this shift. Bring your union rep. Susan turns white as a ghost. Ben just looks like he might be sick. The DoD agents and Mr. Finch escort me to the plane first class, window seat, just like my ticket. Wordlessly, a business executive slips off the plane. The attendants, now whispering among themselves, treat me like royalty. The SUVs don't budge till the doors close. Only then do they slip away, silent as shadows. Flight 305 finally takes off, 45 minutes late, with every passenger buzzing, half of them figuring out who the old guy was who got the president of the airline and the feds to freeze an entire runway. Now, here's where it twists Susan, the agent. She doesn't just get a slap on the wrist. She gets reassigned, goes through weeks of retraining, pulled off the front desk. Alliance Air issues a public apology, no names. My request then launches a top-down review of its veteran travel policies. The president himself oversees it. That's not something you see every day. But the best part, none of that matters, not compared to what happens next. I make it to Colorado with time to spare. I get to pin Emily's new lieutenant bars on her shoulders, my hands trembling with pride, the airport chaos already fading. Emily hugs me, so tight, I almost forget the years between us. That's the real victory. Look, I never asked for special treatment, just for the dignity I try to give others my whole life. But sometimes the world needs a reminder. A medal in a box means something, even if an algorithm forgets. That day, a few phone calls, some black SUVs, and a president who cared enough to get angry. That's what it took to remind everyone what respect really looks like. And you know what? I hope the next old soldier with a story and a ticket never has to pull that card out of his wallet. But if he does, I hope somebody's watching. I hope the world remembers that some honors outrank profit, and some people, well, you don't put them on standby. Now, you tell MUA's the airline right to trust their computer over a promise the nation made to its heroes? Did justice get served, or was it just theater? Drop your thoughts below, because I know folks have opinions on what's fair, what's right, and when enough is enough. Let's hear your take. Where does respect begin, and where does it end?